Hi, welcome to our channel True Up. Do you realize how close Apple and TSMC have lately become? The Apple business of chip supplier TSMC is forecast to rise about 25% this year, and the two firms are becoming closely intertwined. In the early part of June, Apple is likely to supply chips to TSMC for new iPhones and other devices. TSMC is predicted to become Apple's only supplier in the future. After all, Samsung is having issues with advanced process yields, and Intel is unlikely to obtain orders from Apple. Overall, TSMC expects to earn $17 billion in revenue from Apple orders in 2022, up from $13.8 billion in 2021. Furthermore, Apple is claimed to have placed an order for 2nm chips, which will be finished by TSMC in 2025. In addition, Apple and TSMC are working together to produce 1nm circuits for augmented reality headsets and Apple's automotive initiatives. For the time being, let us observe how the new collaboration between Apple and TSMC, the most powerful combination in history, leads the growth of the global semiconductor sector. According to TSMC's financial report data, the revenue supplied by the largest client last year reached 405.402 billion yuan, an increase of 68.627 billion yuan compared to 2020, a 20% yearly rise, accounting for 26% of the company's income, and this customer should be Apple. Apple has been intimately associated with TSMC's growth and collapse. Apple revealed new spring items, causing TSMC's shares to rise. For the first time, the second largest client contributed 153.74 billion yuan in sales, accounting for 10% of total revenue. It may be AMD, I believe. The third largest client is very intriguing, generating 167.39 billion yuan in sales in 2020, accounting for 12% of total revenue, but decreasing below 10% in 2021. Can you figure out which corporation it is? However, TSMC's sales in the mainland Chinese market continued to deteriorate, with revenue decreasing to 164.552 billion yuan, a 29.6% year-on-year decrease, ranking TSMC's third biggest market, accounting for 10.3% of total revenue. The United States remains TSMC's largest market, and its sales surpassed 1 trillion yuan for the first time, hitting 1.01 trillion yuan, an annual rise of nearly 24%, accounting for 64%. Taiwan placed second, with sales of 203.963 billion yuan, a 58% rise year-on-year, accounting for around 12.8%. In terms of process technology development, TSMC's 7nm revenue increased last year, reaching 440.383 billion yuan, an annual growth of 11.5%. 5nm revenue reached 262.327 billion yuan, an annual increase of 1.88 times, placing second in TSMC. The primary process is the most important driver of TSMC's operational growth. After studying the material above, let's return to the question I posed at the beginning of the movie: what exactly is TSMC and Apple's tremendous collaboration? In March, Apple debuted their newest computer, the Mac Studio. The event's main attraction was the processor chip at its heart. The chip, known as the M1 Ultra, is not new. It's sewn together by two of Apple's previously released M1 Max chips. Improved performance, the M1 Max has been employed in high-end applications. MacBook Pro laptop computers. The most significant technical breakthrough, the chip splicing technology, is an upgrade of the M1 Ultra. And the resurgent semiconductor giant Intel may benefit from the invention. It's horrible news. Apple has given this chip splicing technique the enticing internal moniker UltraFusion, but it is strongly reliant on TSMC's underlying chip-making process. TSMC has been Apple's long-term manufacturing partner, assisting the company in producing the processors that power iPhones, iPads, and Mac computers. According to analysts, Apple will be the first user of TSMC's new production technique. This might enable TSMC raise production capacity based on this technology and better refine the process, eventually serving other clients such as AMD and Nvidia with the new process. So yet, neither business has stated its intention to deploy the technology. Intel, on the other hand, is basing its recovery strategy on superior chip-making technologies. One of the innovative packaging technologies is Apple's UltraFusion. This method is used by companies such as TSMC and Intel to package many chips or chip modules into a single completed semiconductor. This method has proven essential for rapidly producing semiconductors while lowering production costs. The method is being employed in semiconductors for data center servers and high-end desktop computers, where it improves the economics of bigger circuits. The Apple M1 Ultra isn't TSMC's first venture into sophisticated packaging, but it's a technological subcategory that might grow more relevant in the future. Because Apple is TSMC's flagship customer and delivers a lot of goods, getting it right in Apple's chip offerings would help encourage other device makers to acquaint themselves with the technology. People don't like to be the first to eat crabs, but they prefer to see technology that other people are utilizing, said Jan Vardaman, president of TechSearch International. People will be quite fascinated if they see someone employing new technologies. Intel's advantage in generating the world's fastest CPUs has been eclipsed by companies such as TSMC. So, last year, Intel announced its resurrection technology, establishing its own facilities to produce chips for external clients. Intel refers to this as Intel Chip Manufacturing Services. However, Intel currently lacks the ability to produce chips with the same speed and power efficiency as TSMC. However, Intel's sophisticated packaging technique is on par with TSMC's. Intel, for example, has employed chip splicing technology to woo customers like Amazon Web Services. AWS said that it will leverage Intel's services to create bespoke chips for servers in its data centers. To be sure, the bridging technology used by Intel and TSMC differs significantly. TSMC's technique allows for more connections between chips than Intel's technology, which is critical for swiftly moving massive volumes of data. However, Intel's approach to manufacture is simpler. Intel wants to build a device that could fulfill a lot of demand without having to worry about supply chain concerns, said Real World Technologies analyst David Cantor, adding that Intel is already working on its Sapphire Rapid server. This technique is utilized on chips that are mass-produced in the tens of millions. However, no definitive data is available on how the cost of TSMC's new technology compares to Intel's. The technical specifications of many innovative packaging systems vary substantially. This is primarily because chip designers often evaluate technologies that meet their aims, and TSMC and Intel are not competing head-to-head. Apple may have additionally incorporated proprietary technologies to TSMC's sophisticated packaging technology that is not available to other TSMC customers. But, for the time being, I believe Apple has played an important role in bringing innovative technologies to market. Apple has also learned important lessons about splicing chips and chip modules into bigger, completed semiconductors, which might help the business save money in the future. Overall, even for simple chip modules, not depending only on cutting-edge chip manufacturing technologies will become a more cost-effective approach of developing and architecting semiconductors in the future. Thanks for watching our video. We would appreciate it if you subscribed our channel and gave us a thumb. See you.